Here are 7 incredibly important money lessons that weren't taught to us in school. But before we jump right in, I would like to say a very big thank you to all our 191 subscribers. You make the effort put into making these videos worthwhile. Now the video lesson 1, money is tied to value. There's this quote by Zig Ziglar that goes, "You can get everything in life that you want if you will just help enough other people get what they want." By understanding this, it really changes your perspective on how to make money. We are taught in school and by society that making money is tied to employment, what job you have, the industry you're in, and the job title you hold, but this is not absolutely true, as you can make a lot of impact by giving value to people. I knew that there was a way to make money outside of the regular 9 to 5. What I found very encouraging when I dug deeper into this was that other people, far younger and older than me, doing something I wouldn't consider a traditional job, seemed to be a lot more fulfilled and making a lot more money. That's when I started to understand that making money or making a lot of money really doesn't have to be something that happens when you're in your late 40s, 50s, or even 60s. You don't have to follow a linear path to get there. Instead, it's about how much value you can give. Money's true essence is tied to the value you create, and the more people you reach and impact who find value in what you're doing, the greater your potential to earn. If you look at the world's most successful people, from entrepreneurs, designers, artists, social media influencers to content creators, they're solving problems or fulfilling needs on a huge scale. Don't think of money just as something that can only come to you through employment. If you find ways to provide real value and reach more people, you'll find that money has a way of finding you in direct proportion to the value that you've contributed. Lesson 2, your own viewpoint. Another thing we were never taught at school is to come up with our own point of view. Throughout our education, we're trained to do things a certain way. We're trained to follow instructions, to follow rules, and we're taught how to think. Even after coming out of school and into the adult world, we keep that mindset with us. Having your own point of view on finances is one of the rarest things out there. Because it's not taught at school, we tend to follow what other people are doing, assuming they know better. This makes us feel safe with the decisions they're making for us. If everyone else is investing in something, then maybe we should too. This has really created a mindset. If everyone around us has an upgraded iPhone or a new watch, maybe we should buy that too. If everyone seems to be working a 9 to 5, then maybe that's the best option to go down. The point is, it doesn't matter what other people think about your spending and investing. It's about understanding yourself and being confident with your own point of view, regardless of what everyone else seems to be doing or thinking. Lesson 3, budgeting is freedom. Third thing that was never taught in school is that budgeting is freedom. If you come across a business that didn't know how much money it was making, what money was coming in or out, you'd wonder how much longer that business would survive, let alone its potential for growth. This fundamental principle of tracking finances seems like a no-brainer in the business world. It's essential for growth, planning, and stability. But when we shrink this concept down to fit into our personal lives, it suddenly becomes something we want to avoid. Many of us see budgeting as a synonym for cutting back and living a life of deprivation rather than the opposite. What we want to see budgeting as is something that can help us strategically plan for financial growth and freedom. A budget is a thing that lets you say yes to more in life. Want to put down a deposit on a new project? Yes, you can afford to do that. Want to go on vacation? Yes, you can afford to do that. Your budget is the roadmap that shows you how to get to where you want responsibly, sustainably, and on time. By the way, if you like this video and find any value, please subscribe to the channel and share with friends and family that may need to hear these words. Lesson 4, assets first. Another thing school never taught us is that we should spend on assets before liabilities. This concept is explained really well in the book Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. Kiyosaki describes an asset as something that makes you more money, while a liability is something that takes money from you. Put simply, a rental property is an asset because it generates rental income for you, while a car is a liability because it requires ongoing maintenance, expenses, and payments coming out of your pocket. The idea is to, at the initial stages of your wealth-building journey, focus heavily on building assets and put the liabilities on hold. Investments, including stocks, bonds, and real estate, are all examples of assets that can generate passive income. Once you have built up your assets, then you can focus on buying liabilities if you want to. But many people don't know the difference between the two, and get this the other way around. As soon as they make money, they spend it straight away on buying liabilities like cars, expensive holidays, and material possessions before they have built up their assets. As a result, they're working for money instead of having money work for them. So always buy assets before buying liabilities. Lesson 5. Choose your career wisely. Next thing school never taught us is that your career is your #1 money-making tool. So find what you love. About 85 out of 100 people are unfulfilled with their jobs, and this isn't uncommon. I've been there. I know what it's like to work in a job that doesn't seem to be bringing you anything but a paycheck. There seems to be this new level of expectation that this is the norm. The expectation is that you're not meant to enjoy your job, and actually, it's just there to make money so that you can use that money to enjoy things and enjoy life outside of work. We're taught that we need good grades to get a good job or have a good career, but we're not taught that your career is your #1 wealth-building tool. So you may as well take your time to find something that you truly enjoy and that you can stick out for decades to come. Most people hate their job, but they're paid well, or they love their job, but they find that it doesn't pay them well. If you could strike a balance between the two, even if it means taking a few extra years to explore new things or taking a step sideways instead of forwards, you'll still end up in a really good place, one that most people will never reach. Lesson 6. How to save money on taxes. Sixth thing we aren't taught at school is how to save money on taxes. Income tax stands as the UK government's primary revenue source. According to data from the last tax year, the UK government collected £250 billion from income tax alone, and then a further £87 billion from corporation tax. Although we know we have to pay tax, we're definitely not taught how to optimize our income in a way that saves money on taxes. Different income streams are taxed differently. Employment income is taxed the heaviest. This is the money that comes through a 9-to-5 job, working for a salary or a paycheck. The tax bracket, at least in the UK, can go up to 45%, and that doesn't even take into account the six-figure curse, where the effective tax rate you're paying on money that you earn between a £100,000 salary and £110,000 business income is taxed lower than employment income. Not only are corporation rates typically lower, but you also get to deduct your expenses before you pay tax, reducing your tax bill even further. Investment income is usually the most favorable from a tax perspective. Contributing to a workplace pension gives you tax deductions. Earnings from stocks or bonds, in some cases, aren't taxed at all. You're not going to see these favorable tax rules with employment income. Even a basic understanding of this at school would be helpful or even before entering the adult world. But it's never something that's going to be taught because it goes against the entire system. I know you are finding value in this video, so please the subscribe button. Lesson 7. Why investing is important. 7th thing school didn't teach us is why investing is important. If you invest £500 in an investment that returns 10%, you have the choice to take out the 10% you make every year or to keep it in. If you choose to take out and spend that interest every year while keeping your initial £500 in, you'll have an extra £50 every year. In that case, at the end of 30 years, you'd have £2,000 in total minus the initial £500 that you'd already put in initially, and then an extra £1,500 from the 10% interest you withdrew every year, which is the £50 a year times 30. That's because you're not only earning interest on your original £500, you're also earning it on the interest you make on that £500 every single year as well. When it comes to compound interest, the #1 thing that is working in your favor is how much time you have. So the earlier you start, the longer you have for compound interest to work in your favor. Those are 7 essential money lessons that school didn't teach us but should have. I'd love to hear from you. Let me know in the comments which one of these most resonate with you and one thing you're going to do for yourself after watching this video. Thank you for watching.